So Danny, one of the things I'm interested about using YouTube for is about building this community around YouTube, you know, getting users involved and other things. Are there any techniques, tips you can give the viewers to sort of understand how to perhaps do that better?
Yeah, I think you need to, I think where social media works best is actually getting your audience involved with what we call user-generated content. And that's where you actually encourage your audience, you don't just put out video, but you actually encourage your audience to actually contribute themselves. There is a brand called Aura Brush who've done that very successfully, where they actually, you know, it's an area, oral hygiene can be a bit of a taboo subject which people don't necessarily talk about, but what they've done is they've encouraged their audience to actually go online and submit reviews about whether they've used this oral hygiene product, how they found it. And people are, you know, people are quite sort of narcissistic. I don't mean that in a negative way, but people love talking about themselves. We often talk in YouTube about the 4 important words: make me feel important. So really, you know, make your audience feel important by actually inviting them to contribute and then saying, you know, if you send in your contributions, we will share those with our audience. And in some cases, it's incentivizing them. It's using some sort of competition or some other incentive to actually encourage them to take part. And engage with them once they've taken part.
So a lot of the conversations I have with customers will be, that's great, good advice, but that's all for business to consumer brands, isn't it? You know, competitions and things like that. So when you're a business to business brand, and I believe you can still get user generated content, but of course you get businesses going, oh, it's all right for, you know, the consumer market, but not for us. What do you think businesses can be doing in a B2B situation to try and generate some user generated content for themselves?
I think that they need to actually they actually need to engage directly with some of those business owners. So for example, if you are creating a YouTube channel, you're say an accountancy firm, and you actually want your audience to actually give them feedback, right, on maybe what you've done for them. I think you actually need to be a bit of a facilitator. So you need to say, okay, we'd love your feedback. We'd like to actually do some interviews with you. And, you know, they might be quite happy to do that because that will help to get them some promotion as well. That will help to promote their businesses, so they'll be up for that. But I think you need to sometimes be with B2B, you need to be a little bit more involved in actually drawing them in and getting them to contribute. But yeah, there's many, many different ways. I mean, testimonials is one easy way. Another way of getting B2B YouTube to work quite well is to actually interview remotely. If you're using video conference software like GoToMeeting, you can actually interview your clients and actually record the screen, the screen interview, and then share that on YouTube using tools like ScreenFlow on the Mac or Camtasia on PC.
And of course, there's leveraging Google Plus as well in terms of hosting webinars on the Hangouts and then feeding that live into YouTube as well. Can you just perhaps explain a bit more about that?
Yeah, no, Google Hangouts are a great way to leverage your network. You can invite up to 9 people to join the Hangout, and even if users aren't able to even if you've exceeded that number, you can create a Hangout on air, which means basically it's a live streaming video, which your audience can watch. And I think there's always, the more audience participation you have, I think the more credibility you have. People feel if something's staged, if something's scripted, they're not sure about it. But if your audience are getting involved, people have more confidence in you and your brand. And of course, the beauty of it all is it's, you know, once you produce it, it's there, it's on YouTube. It's easy to share.